Yeah, what's up? This fucking Jimbo from Dundalk, yo. I just want to let y'all know y'all listening to the hottest true crime podcast in the streets right now, Affirmative Murder and shit, yo. They like the Ravens of fucking true crime podcasting and shit, yo. Fucking Fran, fucking Alvin, yo. They be out here doing their fucking thing, yo. So we putting on for the city. We going to the fucking bowl. We got the fucking hottest true crime podcast in the streets. Shit's looking up for Baltimore in 2024. So let's keep it real. Hold it down. Yo, get some crab cakes and football. That's what we do here in Maryland, baby.
Yeah, obvious. We got a problem here. And it's more than just Alvin streaming Punisher. When life begins to suck, who's reporting it? Luckily, you got two friends who you won't forget. Coming live for Alvin and Fran on survival. Laughing non-stop, case drops on a cycle. Louder than intrusive thoughts off an iPhone. How they make the world seem bright with the lights off? AFs, it might as well stay up. Lies being told like that dinosaur BS. Magnifying glass to the ground if they don't see us. Having the time, roasting your favorite pizza. Bougie ain't an option, it's the wage. Take you to the grave, add moving to the place. You already know when they take the case. Laugh the pain away, it's affirmative.
Hello, coming to you a day late and $1 short. I am Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, man, I'm the mailman. Can't you tell, man? Gonna post to it.
What up?
Fran,
Yeah.
it's been a while since we things have happened since we last recorded. We successfully, man, where's my other drops at? Successfully, you know, witnesses can attest to this. Affirmative Murder did our first live show with one Madison McGee. I just want to give a quick salute to both you and Madison. You guys did a fantastic job. I want to say a thank you to everybody who showed up and showed out during a snowstorm.
Yeah.
We had people flying in from Ohio. We had people bringing us tequila in bags with nice messages on them. We got to meet some.
Hey, I mean, it came. That was.
Oh, we were fueled by the tequila.
I needed that. Yeah.
The little mini Casamigos, the Casamigos.
Yeah.
Got us through the show. Fran, what was that experience like for you, man? Speak to it.
Oh man, it was a very surreal moment, man. Just to see people who love the show come out and again during a blizzard.
I mean
that nobody.
Not to undersell it.
Happened.
Yeah, not to undersell. It was snowing.
It was snowing. Yeah, and I mean just I kind of like the first maybe like couple minutes of it. It's I'm drawing a blank. I kind of really don't remember because it was just so fast. But other than that, man, the show was awesome. People came out. It was a good time. I was hoping to come on this show after we did the live show and was like everything went smooth. There was no like embarrassing moment that we need to address at all.
For sure. And I would say we did that.
Yeah.
We did, because of the snow, and then we got hit with some more snow, and then just life stuff. It's taken us an extra week to get back into the groove of things. So this is our first time recording since the live show. But again, I have to say another shout out to Madison, man. I mean, she flew in from LA, drove down from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Came through, showed up, showed out, did fantastic on her story, funny. I think the energy was there. For us to have never done a live show, all the three of us together, I feel like we did good, and that's a good sign of things to come in the future.
Absolutely.
If we were like to do more shows, I feel like for that to be the first one and for it to go the way that it went, up is the only way we can go.
Yeah.
And it's great because I feel like we did great, but I have my own little neurotic notes for improvement, and so for me to feel good about the first time we've ever done it means that anytime we tweak it, it's only going to get better. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. For sure.
Yeah, shout out to Madison. I mean, I don't think nobody will ever know how nervous we were before coming up those damn steps. I mean, we were down there like fucking almost shaking. We were so fucking nervous. So I think that's a bond that we had that we will never like be able to describe to anybody else. Yeah. So that was funny. It was a cool moment.
Yeah. Sure. What happened for me because I went up first without you guys, and I overconfidently. It's been a while since I've done any kind of stand-up or anything like that. And it was a snowstorm, and so I had all these ideas in my head of like my crowd work I was going to do to warm people up. Yeah. And once we got out there and the music's playing and you go up, it's like it all just left my body. So I went up there and I just kind of fumbled around for like a minute or two, and then was like, let's get these other people out here because I can't think of any of my little. And it was dark.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really be like, I see your shirt. Like it was no. I really had nowhere to pull from to get the crowd involved in it. Even though the atmosphere was perfect, I'm not gonna even put it on the room. I blanked and was not able to like be as quippy as I wanted to be, but it came to us all as the night progressed.
Yeah, and I thought that, and I kind of realized that after because it was so quick, and I was like, oh, I didn't know we was going up this soon. So, and I can hear you from in the basement, so I'm like, okay, well, that made me feel better because I went like, okay. Alvin didn't come out here and was like,
the crowd's like,
so he was like
10 more minutes.
Entertainer. Yeah, so I was like, so that. Oh well, I can tell that he fumbled a little bit and he didn't get a chance to do what he wanted to do. So that made me feel better. When I go like, okay, he say he hides his nerve, but I can tell he's nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Just by hearing y'all went like, okay, and you kind of went past what you wanted real quick, what you wanted to do. So I went like, okay, that made me feel so much better. When I go, okay, I know
sure.
I'm not the only shot one. He also has some nerves too. He's dealing with, and me and Madison is not the only two people who's down here fucking shaking in our boots.
Well, yeah, and also, like I said, I'm up there by myself. I'm like,
yeah,
it's nobody I can look at to be like, I know, Fran, am I right? You're laughing too. It's like, so I was saying shit. And I was like, I don't know if that's funny to them. Hey, my next host of the night, man, they're great. Let me get my phone out and play this music. So, like I said, man, it's nothing but room for improvement. I'm very excited for what that dynamic holds in the future. I'm excited to get more shows booked and go to more places and maybe do one at CrimeCon. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Putting it out there, Vision Board 2024. But other than that, man, I don't really know what has happened and transpired in 2024.
I kind of want to talk about like the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, we're one game away from the Super Bowl, so I mean, like
this is very true.
Big news.
This is very true. The city of Baltimore is on fire.
Yeah, for sure.
We experienced this about a decade ago when the Ravens won the last time, but this time it's something different. I don't know if it's because we got a young black quarterback who listens to Kodak Black and does things his way. It's just something. The energy's different this time. It really feels crazy. Taylor Swift's coming to Baltimore this weekend, which is insane.
It's insane.
She's in for a rude awakening. The Squeegee Boys hitting the Rolls Royce Cullinan.
Yeah.
While she in her security detail, while she heads to the M&T Bank Stadium, will be something for the ages, man. That's gonna be something to see.
I am curious if she's ever been to Baltimore.
I'm sure she's played the M&T Bank Stadium.
I don't know. People usually go to DC though. I don't think a lot of unless it's like Beyonce
came here.
I think Beyonce came here.
Beyonce came here.
I mean,
if Beyonce came here, I'm sure Taylor Swift has done the stadium at some point.
I don't think she's been to Baltimore.
Well, what a time to come when everybody's booing you. Because they're going to be booing. I mean, obviously, Taylor Swift has this chokehold on women and them coming to the games, their spouses, and being like, so I can see there being Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Dallas, New York. These are places where Philadelphia, home field advantage means something. But I wouldn't be surprised if on Sunday when you pan out, you can visibly see a lot of red. Because I think there's going to be a lot of women there wearing Travis Kelce jerseys.
I don't think so.
No?
Nah, not Baltimore. Not here.
You don't think people's husbands are going to let them do that? Like, listen, I've let you do this all season at home. I paid $1,000 for these tickets. You're not getting a drink thrown at me because you want to be cute and wear a Travis Kelce jersey.
I don't think so. Because I think where we are, I think a lot of people not going to let that fly. And the cheapest tickets up right now are like $600. They like $650. And you're sitting in damn near heaven watching the game. It's like people are that stadium's gonna be packed to the brim because of not even because it's a playoff game, it's because Taylor Swift is gonna be here. That's the crazy part about it.
So you're agreeing with me then?
I don't think but I don't think people are gonna wear it's gonna be you're gonna see a lot of Kansas City jerseys because Taylor Swift is there. I just think it's gonna be a lot of women at the games, because
but they're still gonna rep for the Ravens.
They're not gonna be repping. They're not gonna be red. They're not gonna be repping Kansas City Chiefs.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I think we both agree that there's going to be a lot of women there to be excited to see Taylor Swift in the box or pop up on the Jumbotron. But I might have overstepped when I said, and they're going to wear their Chiefs jerseys to the games because I don't think whoever they're there with would go let that fly. Like I don't give a fuck how much of a Swiftie you are.
Yeah.
You're not coming to the Ravens game in a.
Not doing that.
Yeah, you get a battery thrown at me.
Yeah. Right.
Also, before we go to break to get to the fucked up shit, I do have a conspiracy. This is one floating around the internet, but the more and more things come together, I think they're going to try to fuck Usher out of this halftime show, bro. If the Chiefs beat the Ravens, I just find it hard to believe they don't go, Usher, we're going to pay you $5 million to say that you got sick so that we can have Taylor Swift perform at the halftime show and kiss her boyfriend. He comes out and gets involved in the halftime show or some shit like that, you know? It just feels like that is the way that it's going to go if they win this game. Obviously, I don't want them to win, but...
I don't think that happens because they got to get her to do it multiple times and she has. It's like, I don't need to do this. I don't want to do this.
But it's like you're going to be there anyway.
Nah, no way.
So why not? And also, it's like they asked her multiple times, what a coincidence that she starts dating a guy that has gone to the Super Bowl multiple times, has a good chance of going to the Super Bowl. Why wouldn't this be the opportunity for you to now do the Super Bowl halftime show? The NFL low-key throws you a crazy bag because they want to get that women dynamic involved in the viewership of the Super Bowl. So if the Chiefs win, I think there is a chance that even if they don't kick Usher off, that Usher's like, ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Swift, and she does like 3 songs during the halftime show.
I thought you meant like she takes like.
That's what I'm saying. But I think I like Taylor Swift in some capacity.
Yeah, I like the conspiracy theory, but they don't do that because ticket sales. There's no way to do that.
What do you mean?
Everybody knows what the Super Bowl is going to be. It doesn't matter who goes. None matter who plays. It's at the same spot, so it doesn't. That messes up ticket sales. Maybe the ticket sales won't be as high for Usher than it would be for Taylor Swift if it's already booked ahead of time.
Oh, the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is going to be sold out. Period. I'm talking about at-home viewership. If people find out Taylor Swift is going to be on the halftime show, more people will watch the halftime show than Usher. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I love Usher.
That's my point. Then viewership is like, okay, you go, okay, if Taylor Swift is going to be, unless that happens, and like she just randomly pop up on TV, now the viewership will go crazy. But I mean, like, if Taylor Swift, we knew Taylor Swift was already performing in the Super Bowl, we already knew viewership is going to be crazy.
Yes.
Now, I like Usher. I think he's a phenomenal performer.
I love Usher.
But he's not.
He's not Taylor Swift.
He's not Taylor Swift. And it's like, you saying that he's going to be at the Super Bowl, you know, just for an example, I'm not saying she is, but, you know, your girlfriend won't. I'm not watching Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really want to see Usher.
I don't really care for Usher.
So it's like, I think that plays a huge part in it. But that, I mean, I like the conspiracy, though. That'd be crazy, though, if they did that.
I think if the Chiefs win, the Super Bowl usually is like the first week of February. I think if the Chiefs win this weekend when they play the Ravens, by midweek of next week, it'll be like Taylor Swift's going to put some kind of cryptic thing on Instagram or something, and she's going to come out for at least a song. I just feel very confident in it. I feel like Usher's going to come down with COVID, and then he can't perform. And they're going to be like, but guys, check this out. Taylor Swift agreed to do the halftime show even though Usher's sick with COVID. And they low-key give Usher 20, because I heard they don't pay the Super Bowl performers. But I can see them being like, Usher, look, here's $10 million to not show up. And just say you got sick. Time will tell, won't it? But yeah, shout out to the Baltimore Ravens, man. The city is on fire. Really, I love the energy in the city when the teams are doing well. So that's always fun. And I love when Baltimore's kind of in the national spotlight. It's always, for sure, that's always fun. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to get to some fucked up shit. So stick around. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by BetterHelp. I want you guys to think to yourselves, what are some things that you want to take into 2024 that you are absolutely nailing? You see, around this time of year, when NYE is on the approach, people start throwing around words like resolution and change and new year, new me. But the amazing thing about therapy is they help you find your strengths so you can ditch all those crazy, unattainable resolutions and make changes that really stick. Maybe you've been waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning to go for a brisk walk. And in 2024, you want to kick things up to a gym visit. Maybe you've been calling your friends once a month to check in and stay in touch, even though life is so crazy. But in 2024, you're hoping to jump into some IRL, real life visitations. For me, therapy has taught me one important thing, which is accountability. There are relationships in my life that I kind of waved off as being a victim to time and evolution and growth, when in reality, I just needed to put forth a little bit more effort. And through accountability, I was able to recognize those kind of things and make adjustments where I can. Nobody's perfect. I haven't nailed it, but I'm doing better. So if you've got some things about yourself you want to take from good to great, and you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit BetterHelp.com/AMP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/A, M as in Martha, Kent, Superman's mom, P, for 10% off your first month. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Factor. Kick your New Year's resolution into high gear with meals from Factor. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, the prep work, and cooking fatigue, and instead get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, plus many more. Factor even offers a bunch of snack options too, like smoothies, juices, and small breakfast items to keep the energy up during the day no matter what's on your schedule. In my experience, Factor has had everything I need for a week full of flavorful, nutritious eats. Did I mention they have cold-pressed juices, which are great for the morning time? Anyway, if Factor sounds like something you'd be interested in, head on over to factormeals.com/AMP50 and use the code AMP50 to get 50% off. One more time, that's code A, M as in good, P at factormeals.com/AMP50 to get 50% off. Let this meal kit be your number one factor for living well in 2024. I nailed it. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Greenlight. I'm online a lot, and I feel like I'm always running across different parenting techniques for teaching kids the responsibilities of money. Whether it's chore bucks, inaccessible piggy banks, or even those magic wallets where you flip it one way and the dollar's there, you flip it the other way, the dollar's gone. That encourages kids to put money into something. But if you're looking to raise kids that are financially responsible, I have a life-saving recommendation that you need to check out. Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families. It gives kids and teens easy and fun ways to gain financial literacy while giving parents peace of mind. The app includes a chores feature, where you can set up recurring one-time chores customized to your family's needs and reward kids for a job well done. Fran and I are currently in the process of turning his kids into financial wizards who also know the value of a dollar. The app also comes with games that teach kids money skills in a fun and memorable way. So if you've got young kids and those birthday cards are starting to thicken up with that cash money, it might be time for you to sign up for Greenlight. So why not do it today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/AMP. That's right, greenlight.com/A, M as in money, P, to try Greenlight for free. All right, happy and responsible spending. All right, and we are back. Fran, this week, this story is a pretty wild one. It's been covered by some outlets. It definitely is. I think it's one that if you know about it, obviously you know about it, but I don't know if it has as much attention as I feel like it should have. And so I felt like we should take the opportunity to spread some awareness on this because it is an unsolved case. It is more. It's more complicated than that, obviously, but unfortunately. But I still think spreading awareness can help to a potential resolution of some kind. Our affirmative murder this week is the story of Diamond and Tiana Bradley. Fran, thoughts? In researching the story, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a very compelling story for sure. I mean, like, I do have some things I have to say about the mom.
Sure. Fair.
But
we'll get to it for sure.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into it. So on July 6, 2001, Tracy Bradley returned home from her job that she worked from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Upon entering a silent house, she found a note stating that written by her girls, stating that her girls, Diamond, who was 3 years old, and Tianda, who was 10 years old, were going to the store and playground, and neither girl has been seen since. Tracy Bradley, who was 32 years old at the time, lived in Chicago in an apartment with her 4 daughters, Rita, who was 12 years old, Tianda, who was 10 years old, Victoria, who was 9 years old, and Diamond, who was 3 years old. Tracy worked at a nearby apartment complex where she made lunches and breakfast for the tenants of the home, which sounds very almost like a Ritz-Carlton or a Hilton, a Treetop Hilton or something like that. But this is the Robert Taylor home. This is a housing project. But it sounds very nice. Like, I wish I could walk out of my apartment and there's somebody serving breakfast downstairs. It sounds like continental breakfast. But I don't think that was what it was.
Does it?
Yeah, it's, like, it sounds like you go in the lobby of a hotel and it's like, we got cornflakes and milk and orange juice laid out and muffins.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was like that preppy of an experience.
No.
But anyway, the night before the disappearance, the eldest daughter, Rita, and 9-year-old Victoria spent the night at their grandmother's house without the other 2 daughters. We'll get into that, obviously, so put a pin in that. But just already, like, antennas go up when you hear that. Like, you have 4 kids, but 2 of them went and spent the night somewhere else, and the other 2 didn't.
That doesn't sound normal or anything. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
That sounds like sarcasm. So like I said, so basically what happened in that scenario is Tianda is now being left in charge of Diamond while Tracy was at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's hard for me to pass judgment because I think I know you were too, but I was a latchkey kid. Like, I got home from school at 2:45 and I was home from 2:45 to 5:30, 6 o'clock every day. Yeah. From like 8 to the rest of my life. Yeah. So, I understand, like, babysitters are not cheap and things of that nature, but I was an only child, and so me being 10 years old at home alone is different than a 10-year-old being home and being responsible for a 3-year-old. Right. I think we can agree on that.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it's okay for me to be at home at 10 years old by myself, but it is what it is. Mom had to do what she had to do. She was like, this kid knows how to make a sandwich. He knows how to fucking turn the TV on. He'll be okay for a couple hours. And I was, thankfully.
Yep.
But me being home and then being responsible for a toddler is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm warming up bottles or whatever. I don't know 3-year-olds if they drink whatever, but I got to I got to take care of another life, and I got to take care of my life.
Right.
It's a little nuts.
At that age, yes.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, I have to say, like, I don't want to, because I don't want us to come off as, like, slandering the mom or anything like that, or like.
Well, I think we will end up doing that, but it's early, so I agree with you. We haven't made it okay to slander this mom.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, at some point it will be necessary borderline for us to slander the mom.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't want to cast any aspersions on the mom, but it's like leaving I would never leave Sophie, who's 8, to babysit Max, who's 4 years old.
Yeah. It's the blind leading the blind.
What do you expect? That's crazy. So there was a show, and I meant to put this in my notes and I forgot. So there was a show that me and Steph watched. I'll get the
name of it
in a second. But there's these it's a parenting show, like a reality show, where it's like they'll do these tests on their kids to see how different parents parent their kids or whatever. So they'll go. There was one, for example, and this kind of backpack on this, where it's like they went, okay, well, we teach our kids not to open the door for strangers. And they went like, oh, my kid will never do that. This and this. We teach them this and this. And then, like, the one where we thought, like, oh, yeah, if we see how they parent their children, that was the one who opened the door for this fucking guy who said he was a maintenance guy. I don't know, some random shit.
Yeah.
And they were in such disbelief that they went like, oh, we taught them to do this. And that little girl opened that door and was like, who are you? And they went, okay. And she left the door open and ran to go get her parents. And they were so shocked. It was insane. Where it's like,
oh, is this that show with the Hispanic guy that's like, what would you do? What is it? That show where
it's been a
it'll be like they go into a coffee shop and somebody starts going on a racist rant, and then they're filming the inside and they're like seeing people. Is it like reality?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's the show. I haven't seen it, but
this is the only scene that I saw was when they did this little experiment. That's the only one that I saw was this, where they kind of taught their little girl to not open the door, and she opened that door and was like, "I'll be back," and then like fucking went down the hall, and it's like, you can't have a 4-year-old.
Yeah, you're still a kid.
It's like,
and the crazy part is, like, the kid's gonna go when you go, and what do you say to a stranger? They go, "Leave me alone. I'm gonna call my mom." But then they're gonna parrot whatever. It's one thing to parrot, but then when they're in the scenario,
yes,
and somebody goes, "No, but I know your dad," and they go, "Oh, okay, well, all right, well, come on in."
Right, exactly.
So it's hard because again, I don't want to cast aspersions either, right? Mm-hmm. On mothers in general, and people have a hard time. So let's take it away from this mom. Sometimes people have a hard time kids got to stay home by themselves, can't afford babysitters. That I'm not gonna villainize people for that.
Right.
But where this story goes, villainizing kind of has to happen.
Yeah.
You know, so again, I understand my mom left me at home.
Yeah.
You know, my mom, I love my mom. That's not great that she did that, but my mom didn't do the things that this lady did. You know, so it gets a lot worse. So that's a tough one for me. I don't know. Like I am a latchkey kid. I understand as an adult that that's not okay, but I also understand my mom was young. She had to work. Like, it's tough. So, like you said, it's early, so I don't want to just be like, this lady's a terrible mom for these reasons, because there's probably a lot of people out there who can relate to this story of.
Yeah. And, I mean, we weren't 8, so it's like.
Yes.
8 years old. Now, I had a great time being by myself. I mean, like, I loved it.
Oh,
but
man,
I mean,
you go outside whenever you want, eat all the snacks, honey buns, and I was microwaving so many honey buns, bro. It was crazy. Because there's nobody there to regulate.
Yeah, not at all.
So I'm microwaving like 3 honey buns at a time. Man, got the illegal.
I almost burned the house down, like putting aluminum foil in the
I
microwave.
literally almost burned the house down. So that again, I didn't want to, I didn't want to go there. But to anybody who knows me personally knows I got some scars on my arm that look like I got in a knife fight.
Yeah.
But I was 11 years old cooking, using the fry trap.
Yeah.
I was dropping chicken in the grease like I worked at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Making some food at home. Nobody home. I got the grease on high.
Yeah.
Why am I cooking with grease at 11 years old?
Crazy.
Why am I dropping chicken tenders and fries into the oil? Just microwave them. I got an elevated palate. Like, no, I need them crunchy. That's a sick kid. This guy needs to be supervised. I shouldn't be operating the fry daddy.
Elevated palate at 11 years old.
Yeah, like I'm like, nah, I don't like microwave chicken strips. I like them crispy. I like a crunch.
I don't like rubbery.
Yeah, I don't no. And cold in the center French fries. I like crinkly, crispity French fries.
Yeah.
Let me break this fry daddy out.
Yeah, I like through. I think I had like a Checkers cheeseburger and was like and throw it in because they wrap it up in like that aluminum foil. I just like
throw the whole thing in the microwave.
Just throw it in it.
Dumb.
Popping fire, and I was like, I had no. That's when I knew like, oh, you're not supposed to put aluminum foil in the microwave.
Like, oh, you
but
like,
nobody.
That's what. That's how you learned by almost burning your house down. Yeah, same. I thankfully see. Here's the bright side to the dumb young innocence of being 11 and whatever age you were. I should be dead, Fran, but because I'm so dumb, I'm a kid. I didn't throw water on the fire. Now I didn't even think. It wasn't like I knew don't throw water on the fire. I just was like, I don't know, hit the pan off the stove.
Yeah.
My dumb kid brain like knock it over, as opposed to oh my god, fire. Get a bucket, fill it with water, dump it on the fire. Yeah. I would be a French fry. I would have been done. Throw a whole bucket of, like as the Little Rascals. I throw a whole bucket of water on that thing. I'd be gone. You know. Yeah. So that's just I laugh about it, but that's one example of like this is why you don't leave kids at home alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So PSA.
You just don't know any better. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know any better. I'm hungry. I'm gonna do some dumb shit. You turn the oven on high and
elevated palate is so fucking funny.
I'm like, microwave the nuggets. Nah, I'm going to get the canola oil out. Let's get this party started. Anyway, so again, before we fully judge her, she did leave her kids some instructions, Fran. Okay. Tracy told Diamond and Tiana, do not open the door and do not go outside. Yeah. Which is very like, this story is just so like, I know so many people who this is their life. Yeah. Like, don't open the door for anybody. Don't answer the phone for anybody, and don't leave the house. I'll be back at tonight.
Yeah. And that doesn't work for certain instances. And one of those instances is like what we about to get into.
Exactly.
You can't expect a child to follow those rules for certain instances like we about to talk about, because it's like it just doesn't work for a child who goes like, oh well, I know, this should be fine. They're gonna do it. Like
exactly.
So yeah, man.
So like I said, she told the kids that hey, don't leave the house, don't open the door. When Tracy returned home around 11:30 that morning, so like I said, she leaves for work at 6 o'clock in the morning. She comes back at 11:30 in the morning, so it's like 5 hours or so. When she got back, she found that nobody was home, and there was a note on the table from Diamond. A 10-year-old kid left a note. And again, I know you can relate to this one right here. And I'll get into it because I wrote this in my notes, but it just is flowing naturally. I would never have left a note for my mom in my latchkey kid days. I will call her work. I know her extension. I'm going to call because I need verbal permission.
Yeah.
You know, and this is, again, this is like, maybe this is a black household thing, but if I'm like, I'm going to walk to the store, I'm going to call, and I don't have any money, but my mom has $5 on her dresser. I'm not going to go, hey, dear mom, I took the $5 off your dresser and I will be back soon. I'm going to the High's grocery store to get some cheddar fries and a Pepsi Blue. See you soon. Love Alvin. I'm going to call to be like, to put on my show. Mom, I'm so hungry. Can I please have the money on your dresser so I can go get myself some food? Oh my God. Yeah. Just take it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I need to hear verbal permission. I don't think that black kids in these situations like this ask for forgiveness instead of permission, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, we need the permission. We need to hear the, like, even if it's an eye roll, yes. We don't go, let's just assume she'll say yes after she reads my note.
Yeah, like when I was home by myself at times. Also, she went to work, and like that's you going at least 8 hours.
Yes,
at least. But anyway, yeah. So when I was at home by myself, I had to call. If I wanted company, I had to call. I had to get verbal permission from my dad to have somebody come in my house before I had anybody.
Exactly, and you called every time. You're not like, well, we'll be let's go upstairs in my room and play Xbox. I'm gonna leave a note by the door when he gets in. He knows, hey, Dad, I'm in my room. I got company. So be quiet when you come up the steps because I don't want you to disturb my company. He'd be like, what the fuck is this note?
Yeah.
The company's here. You didn't ask. What?
Yeah. So especially if somebody he doesn't know. I mean, you only get permission if he hears a name that he's familiar with. So it's like,
who's that?
Yeah. So it's like if he has to say who's that, it's like, then no, it's not happening. So and also I didn't have the balls to have anybody over my house that I know he never met. So it was like that wasn't going to happen at all.
So this all speaks to like our growing up in like some similar scenario as these kids and understanding that like a kid would never write a note.
Right.
You would be terrified to leave a note. You would need to hear that it's okay before you do it. So after Tracy comes home, she finds the note, no kids there. Tracy made calls to family and friends and they began to search the neighborhood. There was a 7-hour period from the time she got home to 7 o'clock that night to when she finally went to the police station to report the kids missing. So for 7 hours, they looked.
Yeah.
Allegedly. I don't know how much of that time was looking, but for 7 hours, they didn't call the police. And then finally, 7 hours later, she goes to the police station and files a missing persons report. So an extensive search of the area took place. In fact, the search became the largest missing persons search in Chicago's history at the time. I don't know if it's still the case, but at the time, this was like the biggest search in Chicago history. And it included FBI and over 800 tips, all of which led nowhere. Hundreds of Chicago police, FBI, and volunteers spent weeks searching the streets, sewers, abandoned factories, and buildings, and dozens of people were interviewed, as well as nearly 100 registered sex offenders, which turned up no leads of value. Tracy's sister, Faith, discovered a voicemail left on Tracy's phone on the morning Tianda and Diamond disappeared. The message said, "Ma, George is at the door." In the voicemail, Tianda asked for permission to let him in. Tracy didn't hear this message until after her daughters were already gone. So the message says, this person George is at the door. Now, it's important to note that Diamond's father, 3-year-old Diamond's father, who picked Tracy up that morning to take her to work, and therefore would know the girls were home alone, is named George, as well as a neighbor who was also a part-time babysitter for the kids. So there's 2 Georges in this scenario, and one of them ends up at the door. Now, the family believes that the note left by Tianda is suspicious, as do we, and we went into our details why. But according to their aunt, it was Tianda's handwriting, but the grammar was too perfect for a little girl her age. Mm-hmm. It felt like maybe she was coached. In addition, Tianda, as we said, her aunt says Tianda would have called her mom to ask if she could go out to and not leave a note. She would have asked permission over the phone, not left the note, and then just done it. Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, as we already discussed, a note has this level of like presumptiveness that I don't believe that these kids would have had. That they can just go, she'll be fine. I'll leave a note. Whenever she sees the note, she won't come in this house immediately be scared and then mad. Yeah. Because then as a kid, you don't think about your mom being concerned. You think about getting in trouble. And I know if I'm 8, 9 years old and my mom tells me to be in the house and then she comes home and I'm not in the house, her immediate thing is I'm scared. Where's my child?
Right.
But then she sees a note and that fear goes to anger.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, okay, now I know that he hasn't been kidnapped. He just left and broke my rules. And now I'm mad.
Right.
So I would be thinking about getting in trouble. I wouldn't be thinking about like, well, I don't want my mom to be concerned about where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think a kid would be that presumptive.
No. Especially to go, to say you going to the school or to the local store or something like the playground in the local store. You're 8 and 4. I mean, like, what?
You're just gonna take a walk around the block, go see some friends.
Yeah.
You're children.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how the aunt feels about the note. Tracy was questioned for more than 20 hours, but investigators turned their attention to George Washington.
What George?
Yeah, George Washington, who is the father of Diamond.
Yeah.
His name's George Washington.
Yeah.
Use that, people, you do with that what you will. George Washington famously never told a lie. I don't think this George Washington can fall into that category. I think he told a lot of lies. And we'll get into it. So, the family actually hired a private investigator named P. Foster, and he uncovered what he believed to be a fraudulent camping trip. So George Washington was allegedly planning a camping trip for himself, Diamond, Tianda, and Tracy. Now, if you'll remember, Tracy has 2 other kids.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy already, there's so many red flags, but this guy already goes, hey, man, I know you have 4 kids, but I don't got money like that. So I'm going to take you and 2 of your kids, one of them that's mine, and I guess this other one I like, she's cool. I'll take y'all, but you got to do something with the other 2 because I can't pay for all of y'all. And maybe I'll take them next week. So that's already weird that just wait till you can take everybody. It still is weird that the other 2 girls went and spent the night at the grandmother's house.
I don't see how that's weird. Tell me how that's weird.
Oh, so you weren't being sarcastic.
No,
You were serious.
I wasn't being sarcastic. I was serious. I don't see how that's weird. How's that weird?
Would you go send Max or Sophia to their grandparents' house, just one of them?
Yeah, do it all the time.
Why do you do it?
Because one of them don't want to go.
Okay. So now picture you have 4 kids.
Okay. And 2 of them wants to go to grandma's house and 2 of them don't. They want to stay home. Especially if the little ones, I can see how the little ones don't want to go over there.
Hey, you know something? Might be one of those situations where I don't have kids. I find it weird.
Yeah.
I find it weird that you split the kids up, send 2 of them to grandma's house, and not all of them to grandma.
I don't think it's a.
Especially if you're going to work the next morning and you're not going to be home. It's like, well, why not send them all there to be watched?
Yeah, I don't think it's a send them over there. You putting it into the phrase of sending them. I think it's just like they wanted to go to their grandma's house. I don't think it's like she sent 2 over there. I was like, no, you 2 got to stay here. I just think the 2 older ones maybe like going over to grandma's house because they got friends over there, and the 2 other ones just didn't want to go. There's no.
Fair.
I sent them over there because I don't want them to be here.
Fair.
Or
Fair.
I don't think it had anything to do with like work type of thing.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I just, I'm like, if you're going to have 2 kids be watched by an adult.
I don't think
like
it had anything to do with being watched. I don't think that.
But they spent the night.
That's not but that has nothing to do with being watched though. That has how you're phrasing it, you're saying that she sent the 2 older kids over there to be watched by the grandma.
Yeah, that's how I see it happening.
Right. That's
You're saying that they wanted to go and then
no,
so
they were teenagers. They don't need to be.
Well, they weren't teenagers. It was 12 and 9.
All right.
Well,
Well,
but, kids.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they don't need to be watched from grandma. So it's like, well, I need grandma to watch them, so I'm gonna send all of them over there, and not just 2. I just think 2 of them just wanted to go over to grandma's house. I don't think it had anything to do with wanting to be watched, and the other 2 just didn't want to go.
This also could be a situation where the grandmother was like, "I'm not watching all them kids. I'll watch a couple of them, but I'm not watching all them kids." So that's fair. We'll never know the full details of how they played out. I just personally find it weird that you got 4 kids and you send and 2 of them stay home and by themselves, and with the other watches the 3-year-old, and the other 2 are home over at grandma's house getting food and watched and at least an eye on them. So I just find it to be.
I think it is weird for like if she could have took them over there the next morning, but if she just didn't. I mean, I guess this is where you can go like this is kind of bad parenting because like why wouldn't you? If you're going to do that, you take the other 2 over. Like, 'cause when I do it, okay, if I got to go to work the next morning, okay, if Sophie's over there and Max didn't want to, I go take Max over there in the morning before I go to work.
Right. and this is the other part about the conversation where I feel like why we're not on the same page is that the context of what ends up happening obviously is important when you find out some of the shady stuff that happens with this story. Like, the kids are just missing at this point. So right now it's like, oh no, the kids are missing. But as things start to unfold, signs start to point towards the mother. And so then that makes you go, well, then why did two of the kids? Now you start to ask your questions, like, why did two of the kids go and these other two didn't, and these are the two that end up missing? So that's important to note as well, as opposed to like you being like, I do it all the time, yeah, but this lady, her circumstances are a little bit different. So it makes you start to kind of pick apart her day.
For sure, but I think that you got to remember that George Washington, one of his children is the girl he stayed the night over there.
Yes.
So one of his children is there. I mean, like,
mm-hmm.
I can see how that, why, if not one of them, two of them stayed home, because maybe those two were the closest one. Is like, well, if he stayed the night over there and he's on and on with the mom, I can see how the daughter is still at home.
She wants to be home with her dad and her mom there.
Exactly.
And then maybe Tianda, the middle child, is like, well, I like being home with Diamond.
Exactly.
So I'll stay too. I get it. That makes sense too. Fun fact. So George Washington was married. He was dating Tracy on the side and had a baby with her out of wedlock. That's just when you're not married, right?
I don't know.
He had a baby. He had a baby on his wife with Tracy. Yeah. He had a baby on his wife with Tracy. And another fun fact, his wife's name is Diamond.
Wow. Yeah,
so she named. I actually saw in a TV, I think it was Unresolved or Unsolved or something. Mm-hmm. They're interviewing her, and she kind of laughed about this. She's like, "Yeah, I named Diamond after his wife. I don't know what kind of fuck you or like I don't know what that says. I don't know what the message in that is.
Doesn't say anything.
Yeah, like, you're the loser in this situation. Yeah. You're a side piece, and like, I don't understand what. Like, fuck you, I named the baby that he had with me your name. All right.
Yeah.
So, this is where shit just starts to get crazy. So on July 7th, 2001, just a day or two after the kids went missing, receipts showed that Tracy's boyfriend, George Washington, bought 42-gallon contractor bags, as well as gardening gloves and neoprene gloves. Now, neoprene gloves are made to protect against a very broad range of oils, acids, caustics, and solvents. Neoprene offers less resistance to snag, punctures, abrasions, and cuts than other natural rubber gloves. Neoprene gloves are commonly used for applications when handling slippery or wet materials like viscera, blood. Also, it could be mud or some gardening. It could be, but it is a red flag when kids are missing, that you have these heavy duty gloves and these giant trash bags and all this stuff the day after, they find this receipt that and there's kids missing. So those are, it's heavy duty gloves to find. These are all the things of disposal. And when you can't find kids' bodies, that's a red flag for sure. So that was enough for them to have some probable cause. So they got a warrant. And when the authorities searched his home, they found that in that case of trash bags that he got, 5 bags from the roll were missing, and the gloves were nowhere to be found. A neighbor says that they saw him burning something in a 55-gallon drum and loading it into the trunk of his car. He denies burning took place, but FBI reports show evidence of charring on the rafters of his garage. So again, so far this is all circumstantial evidence. There's not anything like definitive, but these are all very major red flags. Witnesses saying they saw you burning things. Witnesses saying they saw you stuffing things into a drum and burning it. The trash bags, the gloves. But again, there's nothing concrete. Now, here's something that could have potentially been concrete, but it was explained away with an alibi and a witness. The witness happens to be Tracy. So authorities found a blanket that had several of Tianda's hairs in the trunk of his car. By his, I mean George Washington. He claims that he would sometimes take Tracy and her daughters to a drive-in movie theater shortly before the disappearance. So that was something that he would do for them and did for them shortly before they disappeared. So that's why some fresh hairs might be in the car, because he had all the kids in his car. And he made the girls hide in a blanket so he wouldn't have to pay their admission. Now, this lends to him potentially saying, I'm going to take you guys camping, but I can't take y'all all camping at one time. This lends to him being a cheap fuck. So, really, no matter what, so far, George Washington, excuse my language, this is all fuck-ass behavior. Like, this dude's a real piece of garbage. He's a loser. And so it's almost, to me, it's like, why would you say something so embarrassing if it wasn't true? But I don't believe him. To be like, yeah, I took the kids to a drive-in movie theater, but I hid them under a blanket because I'm not paying for all of them to go into the movies.
Yeah.
That's some real loser shit, Like, we all snuck in some McDonald's into the movie theater, but sneaking a whole child into the movie is crazy. Like, that's insane. Y'all stacking on top of each other like the little rascals?
Movie theater. It's not that big of a deal.
You're such a thief, bro. Anyway, I'm going to keep
What? How?
You're going to steal from a mom and pop business? You know that drive-in movie theaters are small businesses, bro. This is not AMC or Cinemark
one child who's half price? Get the fuck out of here, man. I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. If you're telling me.
You're going to put a mom and pop business out of make them close their doors.
For like $4? That's
Steal.
crazy. How's that stealing?
That's small business,
Off
bro.
of a
Every
half
dollar
price
counts.
ticket? Man.
Support. I hashtag support small business.
Get
I don't know about you, but I hashtag support small business.
I do too.
Fine. You halfway do, unless you can find a way to get over.
Nah, man. Come on now. I'm not. If I can get away with that, then throw a blanket over top. Then I'm doing.
Listen, you want to go to Lowe's or Cinemark or the Magic Johnson Theater or whatever, and you want to pay for a senior ticket when you're not a senior and you get $5 off, or a kid ticket. And
I don't even pay for that. I don't even pay for kid ticket. Fuck. He 3. He know. Max, how old are you? 3. All right, cool. That'll be good.
Oh, they can just walk in?
Yeah, they carry him in. I carry him in.
I didn't know that either. See, you're a shyster. That's fine.
Hey,
so
you gotta beat the system any way you can. Times is hard out here, man.
I get it, bro. I you know what? More power to you.
Yeah, when we want to go see Wonka, it's like, all right, Max, you're 3. So let's do it. Great movie, by the way.
Wonka with Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah.
How was he?
He did a phenomenal job.
He was a great Wonka?
Yeah, for sure.
Did they
I don't know if it's up there with
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp, but great job. Great job.
Were there Oompa Loompas in it?
It's one. It's not a whole bunch of them.
Oh, it's not a whole bunch of Oompa Loompas? Because it's like the origin story, right?
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Great
all right. So,
movie.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
The Wonka origin story.
Yeah.
Every clip I saw, he was kind of cringe. So I was like,
he did a great job.
Well, let me he was doing a lot of that shit that these kids are doing on TikTok. And they're like, well, let me I don't know. Maybe we can do this. I was like, I'm not trying to see this.
He did great. Go see it. He did a great job.
I'm gonna check it. Was his hat made of chocolate?
No.
Okay. So he didn't bite his hat at any point in the movie?
Nah.
All right, I guess I'll still go see it.
Go see it. That's what made stop you.
That might be a deal breaker for me. I don't know.
That's crazy, man.
I was really hoping he was gonna take a bite out of his hat.
No, he doesn't do that. No. He's not there yet. This is the origin story. He's not.
Oh, there's no chocolate factory yet.
No. That's what he's trying to get to.
Got it. He's building.
Yeah.
He's building his
Go
empire.
Go see it. It's good.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Go
Fair.
see it.
Yeah. I'll stream it. So.
Go see it, man.
Oh, okay. I'll go. Yeah, to the movie theater, and I will pay for every ticket that I go.
Oh, you talk about me. You talk about me, but you can't go and support a movie theater.
Oh, look at this. Anyway.
No, you don't try. No. You're gonna stream it. You can't go. You can't get up off your ass and go to the movie theater.
You gonna talk to me about support movie theaters, bro? I go see movies. Okay. Don't talk to me about.
When was the last time you've been to a drive-in movie theater?
Oh,
do you even know where a drive-in movie theater is?
Off the top of my head, I mean, I guess not. But that's probably because people like you steal the movies all the time. They're probably all shut down. That's your fault. Don't put this on me.
I haven't been to a drive-in movie theater in over 15 years.
Okay.
For sure.
So anyway, bring back drive-in movie theaters, bro.
There is one. There's no brain. They have drive-in movie theaters. You just don't know where one is.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I'm not here to debate.
How do you support a mom and pop shop if you don't even know where one is?
I would love to. Point me in the direction of it, and maybe I'll go support one this weekend. I don't know where it is right now, but if I did, I would go see them all the time. Anyway, so anyway, George Washington was never officially named a person of interest, nor was he detained in connection with the case due to the fact that all of the evidence that I just kind of laid out was purely circumstantial. I still think it was enough there to bring him in for questioning.
Absolutely.
So I just find that super weird. And it gets weirder.
Because he did it.
Yes. As time goes on, you kind of get more signs where you're like, can you bring him in now? Are we at the
what signs? How obvious can it be? It can't be any more obvious than what it is, man. We already know.
Hands in the trunk, burning of things, trash bags, gloves. A guy named George was at the door.
I mean, like for listeners, I mean, like if you were a child, put yourself in this child's shoes. If you were a child and your mom's boyfriend and one of them is the dad of the one of the girls,
Yes.
comes back and you say, don't open the door for anybody. This person comes back who they're familiar with, who they know, who they slept the night with. One of the kids is his father. I mean, like, how do you?
And still called for permission, but then when she didn't talk to her,
Yeah.
she was like, well, it's George. So all he has to do is go, come on now, open the door. He's like, well, I tried to call my mom. Let me try to get my mom on the phone. If anybody can convince her to do it, I agree with you. It's George. So she tries to call.
Right.
She leaves a voicemail, and he goes, all right, well, listen, don't worry about that. I'll call her. Open the door.
Yeah, they was planning a camping trip for one of the sisters. From what I read, they was planning a birthday camping trip.
Mm-hmm.
He went back to the apartment, got those girls to open the door with, "Hey, I wanted to go get a cake or something for and that's going to get them every time to open the door. They go like, oh well, it's a birthday party coming. We know who he is. He was just over here an hour.
He's Diamond's dad.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the girl did what she's supposed to do, which was I tried to call.
Yes.
You don't have your, which is absolutely insane for you to leave a child home and you don't have you don't have your phone.
Yeah, your phone should
you
be
don't have
on you in case of emergencies.
How are they supposed to contact you? You calling every couple of hours. I mean, like, I guess that's a good strategy.
But also,
like,
we didn't. That's in my notes. But since we're here, she called multiple times. They didn't pick up the phone, and that wasn't enough to make her go, I'm going to leave work early.
I mean, I don't know,
because I feel like this is not the first day that this happened. The four of them, all of her daughters have been left at home alone before, or left at home with each other, and it's probably been established like when I call, pick up the phone.
No,
I think they know like when mom calls, we gotta let her know we're okay.
Yeah, and
so when you call 3, 4, 5 times and nobody picks up the phone, you should be alarmed.
Yeah.
But she still finished out her shift. But listen, I know, gotta get that money. I'm not trying to denigrate or disrespect single moms.
Yeah. Well, she thought they would sleep, which is a reasonable explanation if she leaves at 7 in the morning. I mean, it's not like that doesn't sound crazy to me.
It's not insane to go, well, I tried, and then maybe they're asleep still.
But I don't know if I call once and don't get an answer and then go back to work. I guess it's
I don't know if I'd be able to. I wouldn't be able to focus doing my job.
That's not me. Fuck that job. I mean, I know maybe times are hard. She's a single mom with it. It's like, fuck that. I'm gonna keep calling until I get it. I don't know, man. It's just
but see, now we've hit the crossroads where it's like it's kind of hard to not villainize Tracy. Not single moms, not people trying to struggling. Her specifically, because what you just said was that was the voice of a parent going, one, my kid would never be at home by themselves watching my younger child. But if they were, because I had to go to the store or something, like it was like it's an emergency. Max is sick. I need to go get him medicine from the store. I'll be back in an hour.
Yeah.
If you call and they don't pick up the phone, it's like, I'll get the fucking Benadryl later. Something's wrong. You don't not pick up. I can't focus on looking through the medicine aisle.
Yeah.
You're not. My kids are at home and they're not answering the phone.
Yeah.
This also is why Home Alone is a crazy premise for a movie. The mom obviously did everything she could to get back home. She was the true definition of a mom. But like the plane, the getting on the bus, this mom, I know it's a busy day, but like I just don't think a mom.
Ain't nobody that damn busy.
It's not. I'm not gonna get eyes on my kid at any point between the leaving of the house to the plane and on the plane, and then we get on the plane, it takes off, and we get to the destination.
Yeah.
And you never were like, Kevin, you hungry? You want a Biscoff cookie?
Nothing. Yeah. Dad didn't give a shit.
Nobody gave a shit. They all were just like, I don't know. I think this is him. So, Home Alone, I know I hate to spoil it for people, but it's kind of an unrealistic movie,
And to do it twice is insane.
To do it twice is negligent. They should have been taken away from his parents. If they were going to take this lady's kids, as
somebody
they should,
Child Protective Service.
I don't care how nice their house is. They should have the police called on them, bro. They left this kid at home twice.
Good thing
he almost got murdered by some robbers the first time.
Savvy young kid, because I mean, goddamn.
The way I would have shit my pants if I woke up and the whole family's just gone and I'm by myself, I don't know how to survive. He went and got toothpaste and grocery shopping. Shout out to Kevin McAllister, bro. Yeah. I thought he was a little advanced for his age. When he put on the mittens to go to the store, I was like, all right, ain't no kid thinking about putting on the extra layers of clothes when they by themselves.
Nah. You know how hard it is to get an 8-year-old to put on a jacket?
He put on mittens and a snow hat on his own recognizance? Nah. I call bullshit on this. My Rotten Tomato score of Home Alone would have been really low. I'm like, oh, and he just tied his own shoes, huh? Right. So, like I said, the evidence against George allegedly was pretty circumstantial. But phone records did show that he made more than 40 phone calls over a 24-hour period beginning at 4:30 a.m. on July 6, 2001, which was the day they went missing. Mm-hmm. Making phone calls at 4:30 in the morning is not, I guess, not crazy, especially for a guy who had like multiple girlfriends, including Tracy, and a wife, and was sleeping over at the girlfriend's house. And this is a two-timing ass dog.
Yeah, and he had a bit of a criminal record too.
So he's a piece of garbage. He lives a fuck ass life. So I guess making phone calls at 4:30 in the morning is not weird for a guy that's creeping. Now there are 2 periods in which he made no calls, between 7 and 9 a.m. when he dropped Tracy off at work, and from 5 to 6:30 p.m. where his phone pinged off a cell tower on the far south side of the city near the forest and the Little Calumet River. Mm. Now, also between 5 and 6:30 would have been in the window where at 7 o'clock Tracy goes to the police station to report her kids missing. Now, I think that's important.
Which she delayed to do, by the way.
Which she delayed to do. 5 to 6:30, George Washington's phone is near an area where you could theoretically dump a body, right? Yeah. And then a half hour later, then Tracy goes to the police to report her kids missing. So now there's going to be other things that we're going to talk about in a second that you go, well, if you take this into account along these other things, it kind of feels like a lot of the moves Tracy was making is aligning with, if George Washington did kill her kids, it almost feels like aiding and abetting. When she goes to report the kids missing is around the same time that he could have possibly dumped the bodies to get rid of them. Now we can file the missing persons report and start the search.
Yeah,
because I know that they're gone.
She lied as well.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. Now, George denies being involved in the girl's disappearance. He did, however, hire a lawyer after he says that he was ganged up on by authorities and the media. And that just means you hired a lawyer because you look guilty as fuck, because you are guilty as fuck, bro. We will get to it. Ganged up on. Because the evidence was surmounting? Now, in the 20 years since the disappearance, this case has gone from 100 active investigators to less than 10. Mm. Many lies have also come to light that have made Tracy and George look pretty guilty. Like the story about taking the girls to a drive-in movie theater and making them lay on a blanket and explain away the hair in his car. This was not an active participant in these kids' life. He had a child with a side woman, and he was around because he still liked hooking up with a side woman. And he was barely a father to Diamond. He was not like rubbing these girls' heads and like being a stepfather to them, right? So he was barely in these kids' life. So the idea that he's taking them to drive-in movie theaters and going on camping trips is bullshit. This is according to Rita, the oldest daughter, and Victoria, the daughter who was like the middle child. She was like 10 years old. And this is even according to Tracy herself, who admits that, he wasn't the most active participant in her kid's life. Mm-hmm. So nobody remembers going on any of these fun outings with him. Definitely not something as memorable as a night at a drive-in movie theater. Now, again, I know we made our jokes or whatever, but I do know a drive-in movie theater. We know the same drive-in movie theaters, Benji's Drive-In.
Yeah.
If I was 5 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, and my mom or my dad took me to a drive-in movie theater, that would be a memory that I would have to this day, because it's unique to just go into the movies to see Big Mama's house. A drive-in movie theater is like special. Like, you're outside and it's on the projector screen and there's other people in the cars and shit. Like, it wouldn't be something you forget. So when they ask her other kids, like, do you remember going to a drive-in movie theater with George Washington? They're like, hell no. He never did shit like that with us. That's an easy thing to, like, combat.
Do you think he was named after the president?
I don't know how your last name is Washington. You name a kid George and you don't think of the president. Unless you're, like, dumb as fuck. Unless if his parents didn't make if he's not named after George Washington, his parents are dumb as fuck. Like, his name's George, and somebody goes, oh, George Washington, like the president, and they go, oh, like the guy on the money?
Yeah,
I didn't even make that connection. No, we just like George of the Jungle. It's a great movie. So we didn't even think about the Washington part, but I guess he's named after the guy on the $1 bill. That's dumb as shit. So I hope he's named after the president.
I mean, you have to be, right, with a name like that.
That'd be like,
how do you not?
Like Michael B. Jordan, if his parents were like, no, we just named him Michael. We didn't see the correlation at all. We just like the name Michael.
That's crazy to me. But I mean, for like to name a black kid George Washington, I mean, like
It's so crazy. Yeah,
It's
George Washington is so like it's so patriotic
it's so far
and
away,
yeah, like
so
what
long
fuck.
ago.
Yeah, it's like you really got mad respect for
It wasn't
George
fucking
Washington.
Martin Luther King. It wasn't like his name was King and they just named Martin. It was just like
Yeah, it's like nah,
George
bro.
Washington is like,
Nah, George Washington,
What?
bro. We love him. We love America, and whatnot and so forth. George
He's our-
Washington
he's,
is nuts.
He's our number one. That's why we named him.
Yeah. Last name Lincoln, name Abraham. Why not? Have a good time. So, like I said, Tracy she knowingly went along with that lie that they went to a drive-in movie theater, and that's why there was hair in his car, and that was proven to be a lie as time went on.
Mhm.
When the kids got older, the two surviving kids, as they got older, and it's they're doing interviews and whatnot, and it's like George Washington was not a stepdad to us. He was not taking us anywhere. We did not go to any drive-in movie theater. That didn't happen.
Maybe that's why they like going to grandma's house. Like he's here.
Well,
all the
that's
time.
another.
I'm
That's
tired
another.
of
That's
seeing it.
another. That's another theory as well, and we'll put a pin in that. But that's another theory as well. We'll get to a theory that I couldn't obviously share early on, but I will share a theory as to why I think maybe the other two went to grandma's house and the other two didn't. So put a pin in that, and if I don't remember to get to it, if you remember, tell me. And if neither of us remember, then y'all just gotta live with that. I don't know what to tell you. We both have terrible memories. So, George Washington also had another baby, a boy, with Tracy sometime after the girls vanished.
Oh,
The baby
okay.
was taken. Yeah, the baby was taken from her by the state at some point. And
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, her track record speaks for itself. So, so Tracy obviously put this man before her children far too many times, and that's a crime in and of itself. Like, if she's not guilty of anything else, she's guilty of being a negligent mother.
Can't be popping out babies and not taking care of them, man. It's just not.
And you can't use babies to try to keep a man in your life,
Absolutely.
which
And
is
then-
what she tried to do. Even after the kids disappeared, quote unquote, she had another baby with this man who was married and had other girlfriends. So more than a dozen women have come forward claiming to be Diamond in the last 23 years since the disappearance of the sisters.
That's sick.
Yeah, and they've all been proven false, obviously. Or not obviously, unfortunately. Hope
Yeah.
you don't want it to be obvious. You like to think that there's still a chance that your kid's out there. And then these people come forward because they heard about it on the news or they saw a documentary, and they get these people's hopes up, and it's really sad. In 2019, a woman in Texas claimed to be Tianda. She strung the family along with text messages before becoming aggressive and blocking them.
Yeah.
The FBI determined this woman to be a fraud. Now, one of my theories
Gross, man.
is I think George Washington was possibly sexually assaulting one of the girls, whether it was Diamond or Tianda. And that would lend to, in your scenario where you go, maybe the other two girls just liked being over their grandmother's house. Maybe they had a feeling. Maybe they didn't want to be around when George was around. He slept over that night before waking up and taking their mom to work. And maybe they just were like, if George is coming over, we'd like to go to our grandmother's house.
Yeah.
We don't want to be here. He does weird. He's weird. We don't like him. And I know we can't really fully say anything because he's Diamond's dad. So we can't tell you anything that will make you not bring him over here, but we just want to go to grandma's house.
Yeah.
So it's speculation, but possibly Diamond or Tianda were victims of his assaults. And maybe on this day it went too far, or she was going to call and expose him and he lost his temper or something like that. That's one of my theories.
My theory would be, now it's easy to poke holes through this one now that people know the whole damn story. My theory would be that I think the wife of Mr. George Washington needed to be questioned because maybe at some point he tried to get back with his wife or something like that. They tried to, fix whatever they had going on. And he wanted to, she knew about Diamond. And maybe he tried to get rid of her in
Like a clean slate.
to kind of get back on track with his wife. But he also he couldn't just take
because she's there. Tiana's
Diamond.
there.
You had to take both of them and kind of. But now you can go say, well, he was still fucking around with name and they didn't have another child. Okay, then that
they had
kind of blows that off. But it's still a possibility. I mean.
But if again, now we're making them even more evil people. But to help along with your theory, right now, if you're afraid Tracy might not be able to hold water, because Tracy knows you didn't go to the drive-in movie theaters.
Yeah.
So, they find hair in your car. You need somebody to go along with your alibi, but you're not giving Tracy what she wants, which is you.
Yeah.
So now you're in a position where you're like, I was trying to get my wife back. I did this thing to kind of get out of this, but now I got to stay in it because this woman knows my secret, or she knows something's up. And if she says something to the police, I can go to jail. So now I got to stay dating her, and maybe I give her another baby to make her feel like I'm still in this with her. Basically, play her.
Yeah. Yeah,
which she lost. The baby was taken by the state anyway. So that keeps her in love with him. She still speaks very fondly of him. I watched a documentary or like an episode of a TV show that covered the case, and when she brought his name up, she glowed. She still is very much in love with him, and would do anything for him, and has done anything for him, even at the jeopardy of her kids.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, I don't necessarily think that Tracy physically did anything to Diamond or Tiana, but I think that she actively hindered the investigation.
Do you think she has a clue, though?
I think she has not. I think she has the biggest clue.
The only person who really cared was the aunt. Or was it the grandma?
The aunt. The aunt was like the whole family was very mad at her. But yeah.
Shalia was.
Yeah, I believe so.
Shalia Bradley Smith, who was the only one who's been trying to keep this thing in the public eye ever since we went missing.
And she's very actively angry at Tracy.
Yeah. Yep.
So yes.
Another fun fact here. I don't know if you know this. That the number that. What's the mom's name? Tracy. The number that she had for her girls to call, even though she didn't have a phone, she got that number. She found a way to get that number again. For it to be used, active. She got that number active again, just in case one day them girls are still alive. Dial that number. She'll be able to answer the phone.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds good. That sounds very sweet and sad, and I don't know. Yeah. I have my mixed feelings about that because of all the other things that she did. So that just...
Who, the aunt?
Oh, the aunt did that.
The aunt did that. Yeah.
Oh, then that's really sad. I thought you were saying Tracy did that.
No, the aunt did that.
She got Tracy's number.
She got Tracy's number active again. Yeah.
Got it. That's really sad. I thought you were saying Tracy got her number back.
No.
Got you. That's really sad. That's really sad. Wow. Yeah, that's really sad. Damn. So she believes.
Yeah, she believes. Yeah,
as she should. God bless her.
Yep. And they do every year. They do like balloons in a field, let the balloons go and everything. I think it's sweet, and I think stuff like that you kind of don't want to just let it die off, man. I mean,
you gotta keep their name alive.
Keep their name alive,
and get justice.
Get justice.
This is an unsolved case. As much as we're putting it on George Washington, that is not the official ruling of this case.
Yeah, and he knows. I think she knows something. I mean, like
I think Tracy knows something.
In the documentary I seen, in the video I seen, it to me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm like, I don't know what the word for it is, but I'm not like a body language expert or anything like that. But I mean, like, you just don't see the grieving that you should see from a mother who's missing her whole children went missing. And
yes,
she has no clue, like nothing to kind of rely on.
I think she knows something. I think she not only knows something, I think she knows something that would blow the whole case wide open. And I don't think she'll ever say anything.
Yeah. I mean, she lost another child after that. So it's like,
yeah, that tells you all you need to know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think she knows something that will fully implicate George Washington, and I don't think she'll ever say anything, and that's really sad and unfortunate.
Is he still? Well, I don't know. Is he still alive? Or anything? Do we
everybody's still alive? Yeah, this took place in 2001.
I don't know if they still date. I don't know if they still.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they still date and he's still married. He just is fuck ass dude like that. Yeah, he's a real fuck ass dude like that. So that was the story of Diamond and Tiana Bradley. Just really sad situation all around. Unfortunate. You know, these stories about kids going missing and the parents being involved potentially always just hits me deep in the core because it baffles me how you could do something like that. But yeah, man. Rest in. I don't even want to say that. Like, keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Let's hope that news or some kind of an update that could break this case wide open comes through in 2024. Let's hope for that. I'm not going to say anything outside of that.
Yeah.
You know. But prayers to the Randolph family. I'll say that. Really unfortunate. I mean, I'm sorry, the Bradley family.
I'm about to say, who was that?
Yeah. I have somebody in my family passed.
I'm sorry.
They're the Randolphs. No, it's not. It wasn't a close family member, but
okay.
they are the Randolphs. So it was in my
I'm like
prayers to the Bradley family. Absolutely unfortunate, the idea that if this went the route of a stranger tricking kids out of their home, that's terrifying and sad and really, a heartbreaking story for that family. But no matter which way it went, some kids are missing.
Yeah.
So that's just absolutely unfortunate and tragic, and prayers to everybody involved. With that being said, though, I don't really have anything else to add other than one more time. Let's get one last round of applause.
On par as you.
Yeah, I'm keeping. Listen, I like to stay committed to my character, and my character doesn't hit the right buttons. Sure. One more round of applause to Madison McGee. One more round of applause to Fran Evans.
Yeah.
I'll give another round of applause to myself. I feel like we put on a great show. Cheers to doing more shows, and another thank you, man. A packed house in a snowstorm.
Yeah, I got recommendations as well, but go ahead, keep it going.
Oh yeah, for sure. You follow up after I finish. So many people, man. I don't have everybody's name off the top of my head, but just anybody who came up and shook hands, took a picture. There was a woman there, and I'm so sorry I can't remember your name right now, but she had a casual conspiracy consumer shirt on. She made it.
Yeah, it was dope.
And what's crazy is why I respect her the most is that if it would have been a busy night and we didn't go up and talk to her, which of course we would have, but like she wasn't pressed to be like, hey guys, look at my shirt. Yeah. Like it naturally came up in the conversation. She wasn't pressed to like show us the shirt. She just was like, nah, I fuck with the podcast. I got my shit on.
Yeah. I talked to her first. She didn't even say anything about the shirt. I didn't even notice it.
She kept it cool, bro. Like I respect that so much. So shout out to you. Shout out to your boyfriend or husband. They talked.
Hey, don't ever wait. I know they're gonna listen. I know he's gonna listen. Don't ever come down live show with bro. A Steelers jersey on or a shirt, whatever he had on.
Check this out, bro. It's fucking Lamar Jackson, fucking Ravens country. You come to a fucking bar in Baltimore, and you wear a fucking Steelers jersey, but he's still cool. He talked to us about firing off as far as urine power.
Yeah,
that was a conversation they really got a kick out of, and
that's funny.
It's always cool to just hear people talk about the stuff that they enjoyed. You and talking about with your best friend, you know what I'm saying? Like we're just kicking it, having a good time, talking shit like we do, whether the mics are on or off. And I hearing that people gather around and have a laugh with us is it was a beautiful night.
Yeah.
And I will cherish that night forever. It was the first one. Like that was
hopefully the first of many,
such a good
for sure.
Hopefully, yeah. But again, such a good turnout.
Yeah.
In the middle of a snowstorm. So again, if you came to that show,
and we haven't got snow in like 5 years. That's the crazy part. We haven't got snow in like 2.5 years.
Snow didn't even come to my mind. Again, I said it at the last show, but I was like, snow, it's January. Snow was not even like, I'm like, so we're going to do the show tonight, or we're going to do the show on this date. It's going to be a great time. Weather inclement situation scenarios never came up in my mind at once. I was like, it doesn't snow here anymore. Global warming. Wrong.
Blizzard.
Woke up to some shit like a Nickelodeon movie.
Yeah.
All the schools are closed. Man, what? But anyway, you had a recommendation?
Yeah.
One last time. Again, to anybody who showed up, you know who you are. You know we spoke to you. You know we had a good time. You know we took pictures. All that stuff. If you showed up to this show, we appreciate you more than you could ever know. Thank you so much.
Hopefully next time we do one of those, we're able to hang out, get some drinks. I mean, it being the blizzard, it's like
I wanted people to get home safe. I was like,
we all had to get home. Yes. I had to drive half an hour or whatever. It's like, everybody just had to get home. It was like we couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm mad that we couldn't hang out and kind of chat more, but
for sure, next time.
Yeah. Recommendation. I started watching this show called Them. Have you heard of it?
Them.
It's on Amazon Prime Video, I believe.
No, I have that, but I have not watched Them.
Yeah, Them, and it's about kind of going back to the Jim Crow type of era. Segregation, stuff like that.
I did see it's like a horror show.
It's like a horror show, which I didn't know that. But it was a great show, and it's one of those shows where you get so frustrated that our people had to deal with shit like that.
It's for that reason that I didn't enjoy the show that much. But I get
What show? You watched it?
I did watch that.
Oh, okay.
Once you started telling me, but keep going.
And it's like it makes you so frustrated that they had to deal with that, and to kind of like think about like if you had to grow up in those times and deal with that on a daily basis. I mean, I don't know how many people will be able to deal with that like mentally and physically.
Yeah.
That where it's like you move into
on top of the other day-to-day struggles and stresses
right,
of life.
You move into a neighborhood and like a different race is so obsessed with trying to make your life hard and to make their life better and easier out of the neighborhood. It's like it's so, and it's like that's what pissed me off about the show. I like watching the show, but it's like that's what pissed me off. Is like, why do you, if it was like this? Now we hear stories. It's like, why are you so obsessed with these people coming into your neighborhood? It's just like, it really made me frustrated. It pissed me off watching the damn show.
Yeah. Well, it just, for me, it was kind of like Handmaid's Tale, where I was waiting for the happy ending, and it just was like, no, this family's just cursed. Like, everything bad happens to them.
Yeah.
They have these racist encounters. There was one of the episodes, I think they put a baby in a bag and threw the baby around or something crazy. Like a white family came and.
Oh, I see that. I see that.
No, but yeah, it was crazy. It was like a flashback episode, like why they moved to California.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah. Okay,
I was like, what the fuck is this? And this is like episode 6 after a bunch of episodes of like horrible shit happening. I'm like, yo, this shit is trauma. I didn't like it for that. If like this show feels designed to traumatize and trigger black folks, and I didn't like that. And the director's black, so it didn't feel like tone deaf. It just felt like, no, this is too much pain and making me angry, and them coming and calling his wife a mammy and shit while he's on the roof. It just was like, there was never a like. I think they ended up burning the whole neighborhood down. Something happens, but it's still.
I only got to like maybe episode 3. So
either way, I don't remember like actually what happens, but like for me, whenever the show was over, I was like, why is this a show? That's how I felt. It was like what's I didn't know what the message was. I didn't know anything. Like the message wasn't like white people are evil. Even though that was part of it, but it also was like, because it's a horror show, there's like this curse.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is, I don't get it. It just feels like it's traumatizing me just for the sake of traumatizing me. So I didn't like it for that reason, like it was all pain.
Yeah.
And no reward.
It's one of those shows where me and my wife watched it, and we maybe got to episode 3, but it was like the horror part threw us off. That threw us for a loop.
Right.
I didn't know it was like a horror type show.
Yeah.
But it was one of the ones where it's like, I like the show, but I don't know if we continue watching it type of thing. Where it's like, I want people to go check it out, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It's just heavy.
It is very heavy. And I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like, we watch the show, it's like, oh, I can't wait to watch this show tonight when we get home or whatever. And it's like, that
wouldn't be that show.
Would not. It would.
Because it was literally, bro, and again, it's
like,
starting to bring it back to me.
It's Compton. It was like, we know what Compton is today.
Yeah.
So to see it that way, you go, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's Compton.
Great.
Yeah. Where are all the bloods? But yeah, it's the show made me feel dirty every episode I watched.
Yeah.
It felt very like, oh, it never was like, man, that was a good episode. It was every episode was like, oh my God, like they kept calling them jigaboos and then also they're cursed too. So like they're experiencing racism when they go to work, and then they come home and there's like ghosts in their house. I'm like, what the fuck is?
Yeah.
Why don't they get to just live their life? I was like,
the horror. I think this is what threw me off. Well, I was like, I don't know if I can keep watching.
I was like, isn't their life hard enough?
Was like hiding her face. I was like, I don't know. We can't
Shit is traumatic. I'm hiding my face. They're like, get out of this neighborhood, you nigger. And then also they go in the house and it's like a ghost trying to kill them. I said, bro, this is.
It's like a ghost that's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like, where's the happiness in these people's lives? I can't just watch these people get tormented by society and ghosts.
Oh, and ghosts all day long.
That shit was. I was like,
they got PTSD.
This shit is crazy. The dad is shaking all the time and losing. I said, nah, this shit is making me sad. This shit is so depressing. I got a recommendation before we get out of here too. I watched the first episode of True Detective Night Country. I have my thoughts about it. I have my mixed feelings. I'm excited for I watched both. It's been 2 episodes so far. I watched the first 2 parts. The second part, you never watched True Detective, have you?
No.
Highly recommend the first season of True Detective. Every season is like American Horror Story. Every season they're not connected.
Okay.
Except for some little Easter eggs, but every episode is his own thing. I mean, every season is his own thing.
Yeah.
The first season is like the best. It's one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen, but it's the best season of the show, True Detective.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th season is new detectives, a new city, a new case, and this is in Alaska. They're going with this like spiritual kind of route because there's Inuit people, like native people to Alaska, so there's a lot of spiritualism in it, and that's kind of throwing me off because I don't like that there's ghosts, like there's kind of ghosts in it, but it's not real ghosts. But I don't know how to explain it. But I love True Detective, and the case is interesting, even though it has all this kind of supernatural stuff around it, which is very unique to True Detective. It's never been like that. So I'm interested to see where they go with that, if they start to ground it more in like a case of like murder and serial killers and stuff. It just feels very ghosty and fucking monstery. So I'm wondering if they're gonna keep with that or ground it in reality more. But I do love True Detective and Jodie Foster. I thought I loved Jodie Foster, but I'm like, maybe I just know Jodie Foster's name, and I don't know if I like her
like
acting.
as an actor.
Yeah, I don't know if I
okay.
like her acting. It's yet to be decided based on this show. I've watched 2 episodes, and I'm kind of like, not really feeling Jodie Foster so far. So she's got time to turn me around. But maybe check it out. I'm not saying. I guess recommendation was a strong word. It's True Detective, so it has its own kind of legacy and its own reputation. So obviously, people are going to watch it on their own. But those are my thoughts so far. So far, I'm kind of like, I'm still kind of foggy on where we're going and if I even want to go. But I'm still gonna go. I'm still in the car. But I'm not like happy with the windows rolled down and playing Dua Lipa, and I'm in the car, but I'm like, I don't know. I think we're lost.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get that feeling like I don't know. We might be going the wrong way, and I don't know. I could be wrong. Episode 3 comes out this weekend. Maybe that'll turn everything around for me. But right now, I'm like, I'm in the car. I'm buckled in, but I'm a little bit like, I think we passed that Sitco already a couple times. I think we've been in this neighborhood before, so I'm a little leery. But that's my recommendation, sort of.
Yeah. Hey, you know what movie I thought I seen? I've never seen.
What? Please, oh God.
For some, I know the name, and for some reason I thought I've seen this movie before.
This is about to
and
be
when I
crazy.
watched this fucking movie, I was cracking, I was cackling in my house, dying laughing. Fucking Meet the Fockers, bro. I thought I've seen this. I've movie. I've never.
That's
seen
the
this
third
movie.
one, right? Where he has babies, right?
No. He didn't have a baby.
Meet the Parents.
No. That's what it was. I seen Meet the Parents.
The most famous of the movies. So listen, there's
it's Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers is the second one.
He didn't have when he went home to meet his mom and dad. He didn't have kids yet.
They went home to meet his mom and dad.
His mom
and
and
his
dad,
mom was like a swinger or something like that. It's been a while.
She's like a sex therapist.
Yeah,
like that.
They don't have a kid.
No, she was getting out the news that she was pregnant on that.
There's a movie called Little Fockers.
Little Fockers.
There's a movie called There's three.
It's before they get married.
Yes, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, because they're Greg Focker. Meet the Fockers, meet his parents, and then Little Fockers.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say to you about that one. That's not crazy. Like, I don't know if Meet the Fockers is that popular of a movie.
Yeah. I thought it's not. I thought
Meet
it was.
the Parents is the one. Meet the Parents is like, if you've never seen Meet the Parents, that's crazy.
I've seen that one.
Meet the Fockers is like, I guess
you.
if you've seen it, I think Dustin Hoffman is his dad. It's good.
I was dying. It was funny to me.
But see, it's like Meet the Parents is like, there's something about Mary. Like Meet the Parents is like a classic comedy.
Yeah.
Meet the Fockers is just a funny sequel.
I think the name is what I was like. I've heard this name before. I've heard this movie.
The Fockers, yeah.
The Fockers, and I was like, oh, I've never seen this. I've seen Meet the Parents. I've never seen Meet the Fockers before.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I haven't seen it probably since it came out. So I don't blame you. That's not one I've ran back to, but I'm sure it was funny.
You gotta disrespect the movie like that.
No, I'm saying, but you're like, I thought you were about to tell me, bro. When you say what you just said, I thought you were about to tell me something crazy. I thought you were gonna say like, there's something about Mary or Super Bad, or you know what I mean. I thought you were gonna say something crazy, like a movie that everybody's seen.
One of my favorite movies.
I know, but I'm just saying. I thought you were going somewhere that I was gonna be like, how have you just seen this?
I thought Meet the Fockers was. I thought that was like a hit. I thought it was.
I'm sure. No, I'm not saying it. I'm sure it did well, but I'm just saying I don't think people go let's watch Meet the Fockers tonight.
You throwing trash on it like it's a terrible movie.
No, I'm never trying to do that. That's a De Niro. It's a De Niro vehicle. I would never disrespect a De Niro vehicle.
Sure.
But yeah, listen, hey. This has been another episode of Affirmative Murder, the Equal Opportunity True Crime Comedy Podcast. I've been Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans. And we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.